Well, this is the Jim and Terry Show coming to you from the Hobbit Hole studio. I'm just grabbing my boom mic.
And you shouldn't do that in public, you know. Didn't your mother teach you anything?
No, she told me to be prepared, and that's what I learned in the Boy Scouts too, but I pressed record before I got prepared. So here it is, the Jim and Terry Show. I'm Terry.
And I'm Jim.
And we are recording. I see the waves up there. So just in case you were wondering.
Yeah. I love your screen setup here in the studio. We were just listening to Terry. He just he mixed a song for his good friend Keith in England. And Keith's suffering with eye difficulties. He's had surgery. So the best out to you, Keith. Hope all goes well. I hope your eyesight improves more than it does. But it's great to see you getting into the music. And Terry's done a great job mixing it. At this point, I don't even know if you sent it to him, did you?
Yeah, I sent him a draft. He said, don't tamper with it too much because I often try to overbake things.
Yeah, well, you're an incredible and creative guy, and you like to put, well, the whole world in a song. You know,
everything in the kitchen sink is the way I was known for mixing, and I think I've got to respect Keith's desire to keep it lean and mean. Well, sort of like a black and white CD.
Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen.
Was that a segue?
Let the banners fly and the people scream.
Hallelujah.
Fix your eyes on it. It's too good to be true, but it's here. Jim Sampson's House of Mansions. And we're clicking our glasses.
We're clicking our glasses,
click,
which
click.
has Bailey's, maybe in celebration of Christmas, but mostly just as in celebration of completing Jim's first retirement project.
Well, it was a thank you to you because I couldn't have done the album without you. So I want people to know that. And I have let people know that. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you very much. And it's great that you're such a good friend because I'm already working on the second album. So.
Oh, people, you need to know the hours that Jim and I spent in the Hobbit Hole.
Well, you see, I'm a wordy person. No, you say no. I'm a wordy person, so my lyrics are very, very wordy, and we had 3 panels in order to put 10 songs on in a CD cover. And so it's a fold-out 3-panel CD cover, and very pleased, Terry, with it.
Yeah.
You can actually, even I can read it without a magnifying glass, so that's how clear they printed it. So I'm very, very glad for that, and it's got my little sketch on the front, which is neat, and it's got a little picture of my studio where all the magic happened, and also some thank yous, you being one of them, thanking you for your help in it.
You're welcome.
And I'm pleased with it. So what can I tell you?
You should be pleased. I want to know about the experience. I want to know, because this was a vision for retirement. So the moment you decided this was it, you were going to retire, and you set the motion. You set things in motion to create the possibility that you would do your recording. And that included not having financial encumbrances and being able to live where you lived so that you could devote your retirement years. And so this is the first one. How many years have you been retired now?
It's been since it's going on 4 now, I guess.
Going on 4, and finally it's done.
Well, 2 of those years, you see, was what happened is my studio's in my house.
Yes.
Where there's other people.
And with
now, when they're in school and everything, that's when I put the vocals down. Also, at that, like, I'm interested in seeing how we go from the future here, because that whole album was done with me having very much difficulty with my throat because of my blood pressure pills. It was making me clog up and my throat would close up. I still have a bit of a dry cough because of it. So with COVID and people being home, and I'm very self-conscious because, as if you get my CD, you'll see I'm a passionate singer.
We'll put a link to Jim's CD. It is all available on YouTube. You've put the tunes up there.
They're there, but the CD's been mastered.
So if they want the copy of that actual physical product, the CD, how do they contact you?
I have no idea. I haven't thought of it yet.
Right to the Jim and Terry Show. Leave a comment below the YouTube
or
channel.
Or email
here.
me, jimsamcan@yahoo.com.
JIMSAM, Jim Sam?
Can,
C-A-N.
Yeah, at yahoo.com. And, we'll make arrangements to get you one. But, anyways, it's out. And there's 10 songs on it. They're lengthy songs, so you get a good length. on
Okay,
the
let me
CD.
extol the virtues of my good friend Jim Sampson and talk about persevering through 4 years, 3 of which were COVID related, and at home with kids being not homeschooled, but school was remote for most of that. So people are always in the home. And as a vocalist, as a musician, as somebody who's trying to record anything, that would be a distraction. So you did it. So that's number one thing. Number two, how many hours did you and I spend once we said, Jim, let me help you?
And I went, this is exactly what he heard.
Right, little
The
one.
evil moi ha
Yeah.
ha.
Well, it's funny in my I call it Somewhere Sound Studio, but it can be actually Soapbox Records. On the one wall is the furnace room. On the other wall is the laundry room.
Unbelievable.
So it's a balance of trying to keep the outside sounds out while doing this. And then, as I said, I was struggling with my voice and then COVID. So I'm glad it's done. I'm looking forward to recording some new stuff. And not that this is totally behind me. I'm happy with it, and I'm glad I did it.
Will you do an acoustic number?
Well, I may. The problem is my studio is really, my acoustic guitar is what you would call a parlor
one, yeah.
guitar. And I think I'll try it. I should have done the one I'm working on now. I should have done it acoustic, but I find it easier just with my electric. And so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would like all of it, maybe this second project, to be a little bit more easier to perform without not too much in it. But we'll see what happens
So-
because, like you go, man, the trumpets would go good here.
I was going to say Mormon Tabernacle Choir is not going to make an appearance in the second album.
That's
Okay.
right. That's right. So so that's about it. The album's there. I'm going to send it to a few friends and maybe just for fun, see if I can get a producer or somebody interested in it for the sake of one of our biggest dreams as songwriters would be to have somebody else do your song.
Yeah, get somebody to cover it.
I think that would be wonderful, getting that phone call. That's what I would celebrate.
Oh, we drool, don't we?
Because if someone called up and said, Chris Tomlinson wants to do your song, or whatever his name is, wants to do your song on his album, I'd go,
Chris Christopherson.
Not Christopherson. No, there's a Tomlinson who's a Christian performer.
Oh,
but yeah, sure.
forget the
Christopherson. No, Christopherson would be fine. He could do it. Some of the songs could be crossover for sure.
Okay, one of my favorite songs, because we're running down to less than a minute in this one.
gotta be
My
kidding.
favorite song is Requiem.
That's one of my favorites.
And that is complex because your illusion in there is the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it's Whatever Happened to Dorothy is the subtitle. It's called Requiem for Regret, and it's all about Dorothy, what happened to her. And so this is a scene that takes place in a bar on a boardwalk overlooking an ocean.
Love the
and
setting.
she's an absolute mess. Her husband's just lying in a pool of beer and barf. And she's just like saying, what happened, man? What happened to my life? That poor innocent little girl.
And how many of us are like Dorothy, poor innocent people, and wonder how life sideswiped us and knocked us off the road?
So that's the idea. I mean, sue me if you want. I don't care. That's wonderful. But because we don't know what happened to Dorothy.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
And so there's creative license in the whole thing.
Yeah, so she married a jerk, but she loves him. If there's ever a sequel, she chooses to stay with him.
I'm hoping there will be Soapbox Joe Part 2 dropped into the next album.
The next album's going to have Soapbox Joe Part 2. You see, the first album has Soapbox Joe. The building's falling apart. The first album has Soapbox Joe 1 and Soapbox Joe 3. And so it's called House of Mansions is Soapbox Joe number 1, Part 1. And Walking Joe to Glory is his death. Soapbox Joe number 3. Soapbox Joe number 2 coming out in the next album. We'll talk about his life a bit.
Excellent. So people are listening ones and twos. If you want to get a hold of the physical CD, just drop us a line, an email contact in the Jim and Terry Show, and we'll somehow connect and get mailing addresses or whatever so that we can get in touch. Jim has produced this album, House of Mansions. It's well worth the listen. And that's just me talking, but he's my good friend, and he didn't give me any money to say that. So I'm just saying that. Great album. I look forward to hearing more, and especially in the part 2. Are you going to stick with the rock genre? Are you going to break out into other...
I don't know. Yeah, probably. But I get by with a little help from my friends.
Always. We always
I get
will.
high with a little help
There you
from
hear
my
it.
friends.
Jim and Terry Show, celebrating Jim's release, House of Mansions. I was going to say part 2, but it's not. It's part 1. Looking forward to part 2.
Thanks, Terry.
You're welcome. Bye-bye for now.